Welcome into the CitrusTV studio for this Cuse Countdown Webisode. Alongside Leo Silverman and Ian Nicholas, I'm Ben Spector, and this is a football webisode because I didn't expect it. I don't know if you guys expected this, but Syracuse is going bowling. SU, Minnesota, in the Bronx, Pinstripe Bowl. Leo, should be a fun one, right?
Should be a fun one with their big-time defense as their opponent.
Yeah, no expectations headed into this year, and now you get one of the most prestigious bowl games. It's amazing.
Yep, Syracuse back in the Bronx for a third time, have previously won 2 Pinstripe Bowls, but enough about the history. Let's get right into this. Mohamed Ibrahim, the Minnesota running back, has been all over the field for the Golden Gophers. 1,600 rushing yards, 19 touchdowns. Leo, he'll be a big problem for this SUD line.
He's going to be a very big problem. I'm sure we're going to hear once again for what feels like the 1,300th time about how undersized this D-line is, and they are going to be undersized, and they're against a running back who is going to absolutely feast on them in this game.
Mo is going to look like Bo Jackson. I mean, second most rushing yards per game in the nation. An undersized defensive line gave up over 200 rushing yards per game in that 5-game losing streak.
Some high praise from Ian right there. The average weight of the SU defensive line, 250 pounds. But from the SU defense to the SU offense, the passing offense that is, led by Garrett Schrader, receiver Arande Gadsden, go up against Tyler Nubin. And Ian, he's a real ball-hawking cornerback out there.
And he's a real leader, too. The guy broke his wrist in the middle of the year, and he's playing in the bowl game and coming back for another season.
What?
4 interceptions on the year. If he has 2 working hands, he could very well find an interception.
Yeah, and he's also very good with interceptions, career high this season at 4, but he also pretty high in the total tackles department, so you're going to expect this guy, whether we're doing a Sean Tucker run or a pass play from Schrader, he's going to be somewhere near the ball to cause havoc.
Nubin all over the field, sideline to sideline, indeed. But I love Big Ten offenses. We're going back to a Big Ten offense. Minnesota quarterback Athan Kaliak-Manis really sort of getting his feet wet. Redshirt freshman Baleo, he should be starting for Minnesota on December 29th.
Yeah, he certainly should be. He's still would call him a bit of a game manager. He's not the best down the field, but he makes the big time throws in between the sticks, especially on those third down conversions. He's played some big games too, at Penn State, at Wisconsin, where he had over 300 yards. So this guy's certainly nothing to scoff at, but won't be able to make those deep throws down the field, I think.
Yeah, honestly, play style-wise, reminds me a lot of last year's Garrett Schrader. Has all the raw talent, a lot of QB power, and he had over 300 yards in that Wisconsin game. So I feel like he has the development to be Minnesota's guy going forward.
Here in the CitrusTV studio, Cuse Countdown Webisode. Leo Silverman, Ian Nicholas, and Ben Spector here with you to break down Syracuse's bowl matchup, the Pinstripe Bowl against Minnesota. Who would have thought? SU's 3rd appearance in the Bronx. But enough about matchups, enough talk. What's the key for Syracuse to win this game, Leo?
Ben, my key here, control the clock. We're talking about a Minnesota Golden Gophers defense that is really high up, number 5 in pass defensive efficiency to start out. So if you can control the clock, keep that defense tired, you might have a shot against this Minnesota team in the Pinstripe Bowl.
You said might have a shot. Look, I'm going to keep it real. Minnesota's the better team, but Syracuse could come in highly motivated. Both Robert and I and Tony White out of town. They've abandoned your team, and that's got to feel really tough for Syracuse's guys. But if they want to prove they still got stuff moving forward, they've got to prove, hey, why'd you leave us? We're still here.
Tough for Syracuse to really get going. I mean, Ian, you said it, 2 coordinators, offensive and defensive coordinators, both gone. Robert Anae to NC State, Tony White to Nebraska. Some ACC Big Ten crossover there, some ACC Big Ten crossover in this game in the Pinstripe Bowl, Syracuse and Minnesota. But Ian, even with all of that, what's the score? Who wins, Syracuse or Minnesota?
It's going to be Minnesota, and it really just depends by how much, because they're going to control the clock like they said. And I think Syracuse's offense looked really solid in their final 2 games of the season, but Minnesota is going to really limit their opportunities on the offensive side of the ball. 31-21, Golden Gophers are going to win in the Bronx.
Yeah, I have to agree with you here, Ian, but give an extra field goal to the Golden Gophers.
Of course.
I'm going to go 34-21 in this one. As much as I like to buy into the narrative of sort of a revenge game for the 2 coordinators leaving here, this Syracuse team is just way too banged up to even have a shot against Minnesota, even with revenge on their mind. So I'm unfortunately giving the Golden Gophers the Pinstripe Bowl.
You guys aren't very kind to Syracuse. You don't think SU could pull it out? Well, guess what? I don't think the Orange can pull out a victory either. I got Minnesota 34-14. I'm a little harsher than you guys. 2 coordinators leave? Are you kidding me? You think SU could pull out a victory if that's the case? I don't really think that they're going to be able to do it. But that's enough time we have on this Cuse Countdown webisode. Make sure to follow along our Twitter at CitrusTV Sports for all the coverage throughout that game. Leo Silverman, Ian Nicholas, I'm Ben Spector saying so long and enjoy the contest.